Minerals. Minerals are another very important essential class of nutrients that we must take in. Okay? Most people don't know enough about minerals. Minerals are vital catalysts in all the biological actions that are going on in your body. They help the signaling processes. They help the enzyme processes. When I feel my body beginning an immune response to a virus or a bacteria, if I feel like I'm starting to get a cold, I don't call it get a cold. I call it my immune response is starting. I will double up on minerals. And it always, always helps. And you guys have probably read on zinc. Zinc is a homeopathic. It's a mineral. Zinc helps to stimulate the immune system, and it helps to shorten colds. This is something that's been researched and proven over and over and over again. So essential minerals are so important in your diet, and this is one of the areas where growth of food and processing of food is causing a big issue because it's decreasing the mineral content in the food that we're eating. Because plants pull minerals out of the soil, and when there's lower amounts of minerals in the soil, plants have lower amounts of minerals in them. So the types of minerals are important, though, and that's what I want to go over really, really quick. Because most of us are completely in the dark about what minerals are when they're in a little tablet. And you need to know which minerals are the most bioavailable and the ones that are going to get where they need to be in your body. Because you do not want a mineral misplaced. Remember when we talked about what vitamin K2 does in your blood vessels? It's a fat-soluble vitamin. And without vitamin K2, calcium and other minerals get misplaced into soft tissue, into artery walls, into muscle. Guess what happens when a mineral gets put into an artery wall? It stiffens. That's what we call atherosclerosis. We have testing for that now, where they test if your vessels are flexible anymore, because it's a sign of your health and your ability to live longer. If your blood vessels are becoming inflexible, you have problems coming. Your blood pressure is going to be raised, and you're going to have issues. So eating the right kind of mineral and making sure that your mineral, if you're supplementing it, is in the right form is wildly important. First and foremost, most of the mineral in supplement bottles on store shelves today are of the class we call elemental minerals. Okay? So elemental minerals they look like a mirror image of the mineral found in nature, but they're created in a lab. So they're non-living. They're synthetic. We've all heard of synthetic vitamins. That's what your food is. That's what's being added into your food, is synthetic vitamins. Elemental vitamins that are created, not harvested from the land, not pulled out of clay or pulled out of the sea. They're created in a lab. And remember when I got really passionate about talking about children's foods and school lunches? Piles of elemental minerals are pumped into that enriched, flour-based school food program constantly. So kids are not getting natural minerals in their diets, especially if they're eating at school. You want to stay away from elemental minerals because they simply are not the same thing as a mineral that comes from nature. Ionic. When a mineral is taken into your body and it is not bound with a protein, in the digestive tract, it is ionized, which means that it's bonded to an ion, and these ions are charged. They're kind of crazy. Their purpose, the reason your body ionizes it, is so that that mineral will hook up to a protein that will carry it through the intestinal wall into the blood where it needs to be. And then vitamin K2 and other enzymes and things will take it where it needs to be. once it's in the blood. But it has to get through the intestinal wall first. And ionic minerals have this ion bond, and the issue with it is that if you think of an ion bond and it's charged, it's kind of like the Tasmanian devil, if you've ever seen that. And the Tasmanian devil is very nonspecific in where he's going, right? He may be going in one place, but he'll go like this to get there. The problem with an ionic mineral is it does not necessarily always hook up and link up with the right protein. If your body has done the ionizing, the way that it's done makes it much more specific. But when you ionize a mineral in a lab, it's a different story. It's the same thing as trans fats. When a trans fat is made through a chemical process instead of through an enzyme process in nature, it's a different story. So there are trans fats that are good for you in nature. CLA is a good example of them, conjugated linoleic acid, or conjugated linoleic acid. That is a trans fat, but it's a cis trans fat, which means the hydrogen bond is on the same side. When you make a trans fat chemically, the hydrogen bond is twisted, and they're on opposite sides of each other, which makes it damaging to your body. Ionic minerals are the same thing. When you ionize a mineral in the body, when the stomach does it, different story than when it's done in a lab. So, not recommending the intake of ionized minerals. 3, colloidal minerals they've been an old school mineral for a long time. Everyone remember colloidal silver, those types of things? When my mom had cancer, it was one of the things that she was recommended to do through the more natural practitioners and things in our area. She took colloidal silver, and the point is to get immune response, because minerals help your immunity. Here's the issue that we have in colloidal minerals when it comes to observing their effects. First of all, the big benefit that people have thought that colloidal minerals have had for a long time is that they're suspended. They're said to be, they're tiny, tiny, tiny mineral particles that are supposed to be absorbed very, very easily and bypass that protein bonding that has to happen to get it through the intestinal wall. So it's been said that colloidal minerals actually bypass and go straight into the blood. And that it does so in an even manner because it's suspended in this glue-like medium. Has anyone ever seen colloidal silver and colloidal minerals? It's very thick. The problem is when we actually look at how these minerals are working, is the medium, the glue-like medium, is actually getting in the way of the absorption, the emulsified liquid that it's in. And secondly, the minerals themselves in colloidal formulas are not as small as they've said. They're not smaller, and they do not somehow bypass the intestine to get into the blood. So colloidal minerals are not necessarily what they've always believed to have been. They cannot make them small enough to bypass the intestinal wall, and the glue-like medium, the suspension it's in, on its own gets in the way of the actual digestive process. Number 4, chelated. Remember when I talked about the mineral needing to hook up with a protein that will help carry it through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream? A chelation bond is a bond to a protein. So minerals that are chelated are actually bound to the very protein that needs to transport it through your digestive tract, through the intestinal tract, and into the bloodstream. So what you need to find is you need to find an earth-sourced mineral that is chelated. So it was sourced from the earth. It wasn't made in a lab. It was made by nature. And it is chelated. It is bound to a protein to carry it through into the bloodstream. Chelated minerals have been proven over and over and over again to be more bioavailable and more absorbed. They get where they need to go. And if you're buying a supplement, you want to make sure that you're buying one that's getting where it needs to go. You're not taking a supplement so that it doesn't get where it needs to go. All right? So chelated minerals are absolutely the best minerals that we have found. And remember, we're talking minerals because they are essential. Your body has to have those minerals that we showed you just a few sentences ago. Your body has to have those to run right. And it can't run right if it doesn't have them in adequate amounts. Is this all making sense? I know it's kind of technical, but we're into supplements, and it's not whole food. Whole food's kind of easy because it's all in one package. We're actually talking about making the decisions about what we're breaking down and taking as supplements go. So, as I said before, due to their bioavailability, chelated minerals are absolutely what we recommend. It's what I take for a supplement as well.